Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another chat with Castles, Capes, and Clones. It's been a hot minute for me. I've had some health problems. I was, in the hospital for a while, and so I'm very appreciative of my cousin and co-pilot, as always, cousin Rich, for doing a solo show. How you doing, cousin Rich?
I'm good. It wasn't solo. Tom was with
Oh,
us.
Tom, yeah, duh.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Tom was there as well, which was very nice of him as well. Oh, and we got Karen from Disney Inside Andy here. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you
Hello.
for joining us. Um, yeah, so anyway, that's my story. I was hospitalized.
Yeah. Well, we're glad you're okay.
Thank
So
you. Thank you.
it's there's
Yeah,
yeah.
it was a concern. So,
It's funny. Like I'm in all these shows, but when I have to host it myself, I'm like I forget things.
yeah,
I forget
it's
how to
hard.
host.
Yeah, I know. Especially, it's just hard to sometimes just getting back into the swing of things is just
Yeah.
like, what do I do, who am I, what am I?
Who am
So,
I?
and
What's my
yeah.
name?
Well, if you aren't, I know, Karen, you are, but I mean, if anybody that is watching this in replay, or if you're out there and not in the chat and aren't subscribed to our channel, we'd love it if you would subscribe. We'd love it if you would hit the bell for notifications, so that way you can find out when our next episode is. And do give us a like before you go. All right. Do you have any news that you would like to share?
Not really.
Okay. No, I didn't want to just start and you're like, oh, I wanted to talk about. All
No,
right. So
everything I want to talk about is what we're
is
going to talk
right
about.
here. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Because it was a big there was a big weekend for Star Wars news. We're gonna put that at the end because we just have a couple of items to start off with. We'll start off with the DeSantis versus Disney fight. Um, so now that Disney uh, has this kind of clause in the Reedy Creek um, improvement thing where it says that basically um, the the new board can't act until the death of the last child of
The last descendant of King
la-
Charles III. That's
yeah the
alive.
yeah
I think
the
people are
child of the
missing.
last descendant of King Charles. Yeah,
I think people are missing one of the important parts of that sentence, is that living today. So that doesn't mean like in perpetuity.
right.
Like it's if the youngest grandchild has kids, it doesn't keep going. It's whoever's alive today,
Yeah,
as of the signing.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Oh, it's
still,
Allie and Pete. Hi, thank you for coming.
yeah. But if that last grandchild lives to like 100, that means 121, like another
Yeah,
21 years after
exactly.
that. So it's
Yeah,
still a long
I mean,
time.
yeah. Let's just say that it's going to be a long time,
Yeah,
and by that time, DeSantis is going to be gone.
and probably things have
So,
changed and whatever. So,
yeah.
which is pretty pretty you know sneaky of Disney, but
Right.
they're used
Yeah.
to being in litigation and being sued for this and that and whatever. So they have a
Oh,
team of
they've got a
lawyers.
crackerjack team. So anyway, DeSantis decided that he's going to fight back by punishing the people of Florida. He's going to put taxes on, like he's going to put more toll roads around Walt Disney World, and he's going to put taxes on the hotels. And so, of course, people are going to be mad at it's not like it's going to deter people from going to Disney
Right.
because, as you know, the more that they raise the prices, the more people go. But
Apparently.
this time they can blame DeSantis for that. So um, who says Andy is totally tuned into the DeSantis drama. That's so funny.
It's pretty funny and riveting at the same time.
Yeah, it is. It's nuts. I mean, so anyhow, that is the fun behind what's going on there. Then we also got a new trailer for Peter Pan and Wendy. And what did you think of the trailer, Cousin Rich?
I liked it. I think it's. I mean, obviously the last one was like just like a little teaser, so this one kind of gives
Hmm.
you a better kind of sense of what that movie is going to be like,
Yeah.
um, and how close it is to like the Disney feature,
Hmm.
the animated feature. Um,
Yeah.
I'm looking for. I really like Jude Law as Captain Hook. I like
Yeah,
his
he's really
version of it.
interesting looking.
Yeah.
Um, I I actually thought this was much better than the trailer, teaser. I mean, the teaser was. I was just kind of
Yeah.
uh, like they convinced me though on Tinkerbell right away. I was a little concerned about how Tinkerbell would be or look or whatever, and I actually thought that she looks great. Um, and my only thing about this movie, and it's been about any adaptation of Peter Pan, and maybe this is just my own thing because I love Mary Blair so much, and just the color and the light and all of that, and I just still feel that this film is missing that, but I'm willing to let it go, like Elsa. I'm willing to let it go a little bit, um, but I thought that this was looked a lot of fun. Like it looked like it was going to be fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like actually, I don't know if it's the people who are cutting together these trailers, but between the Little Mermaid and Peter Pan, like I'm super excited about live action remakes. Usually I'm not. I'm like, oh, whatever. And I don't. The only thing is like, with Pinocchio, I was super excited about that. Like I really wanted it to
Yeah.
work, and it didn't. And I feel burned because I, I the trailer totally got me. I was crying
Right.
during the trailer. So we will see. We will see, but hopefully, because I, the remakes aren't all bad. Like Cinderella, I love. Jungle Book, I love. To a certain extent, I like Pete's Dragon. Interestingly enough,
Hmm.
which was kind of a total destruction of the original film, but it was its own thing. It didn't try to actually completely imitate the film, if that makes any sense. Like they took the
Yeah.
concept but
Right.
put it in an entirely different thing. So anyway, that's what I'm just hoping that these movies are going to be good. But this one definitely got me more excited, I would say.
Yeah.
Uh, all right. Speaking of trailers, the Marvel released the Marvels trailer, and I was so excited about it that I haven't been able to do reaction videos in a while, and I had to do one for this one because I was so excited about it. And and I say in my reaction video, the thing is like Monica Rambeau was my Captain Marvel when I was growing up. I mean, like she was a leader of the Avengers,
Right.
and then Carol Danvers was Ms. Marvel, and so there's all these like different role changes and things like that. But I'm really excited to see Monica Rambeau wearing a uh, costume or a uniform of some sort, and now I just want to know what her code name is.
Right.
Um, and I have a feeling that it's going to be she's going to take up her mom's um, call sign or
Call
whatever.
sign.
Yeah, and photon.
Right.
That's
Probably.
that's what I'm thinking.
Probably.
But what did you think of the trailer?
Um, One, I was surprised. I didn't know it was coming out. In fact,
Yeah.
like when I was looking at my phone and I saw, you flip through videos and stuff. I
Hmm.
saw the beginning of it, and for whatever reason, I thought it was like a commercial for some kind of Pepsi product or something. And yeah, like a Marvel tie-in. And then all of a
Yeah.
sudden, I'm like, wait, is this the trailer? Um, and I think what surprises me is that at least from the trailer, the tone is a lot different than I thought it would be.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, it seems a little more lighthearted than I thought it was going to be. But then that could be just the trailer. Um, and but I did like the trailer. Like I liked all three of them and how they kind of reacted to everything. Because Ms.
Hmm.
Marvel's reaction to being transported all of a sudden into space seems very perfect for who she is.
It was. That was like so. Just, I mean, she's like a breath of fresh air, Iman Vellani as Ms. Marvel.
Yeah,
Um, she just gets it, and I think that's Kevin Feige had compared her to Tom Holland, and I totally agree. She's
right.
very Peter Parker esque, but in a Tom Holland way. Like she just gets that character.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah, she
mean?
does. Yeah. Um,
Um,
but uh, but yeah, like I still I'm not sure what's going on. I'm not sure who
yeah.
the protagonists are. I know they showed something, but I don't know who that was.
The protagonist or antagonist?
Oh, antagonist. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. The I know it because I saw um it's a woman that is carrying the accuser's hammer, and but I don't know who that is. I don't know who it is. I don't know who the guy who's the Korean actor that we saw, like who he is. Is he a villain or is he like the people behind him were all wearing like these very Asgardian masks.
Mm.
So yeah, I'm not sure about that. But Karen says that she loves Iman Vellani too as Ms. Marvel. She's a hero. We didn't know we needed love her. Exactly. Uh, I was pleasantly surprised by this trailer because I felt like it was fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I thought that I just sometimes people want like darkness, the secret invasion trailer, like people are like that's the way that Marvel is finally back to whatever. But I love the lighthearted stuff. Like I love that, and I love Amon Vellani in it. I think that Tanoia Paris is perfect as Monica Rambeau. And I think that Brie Larson is finally giving an um, more dimension. Because
Yeah.
I was trying to say it in my um, reaction video because I don't want there's a difference between saying she needs to smile or soften up or whatever. It's not that. It's that I think she just needed to not be so um like I'm a strong woman and that's all there is to her. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I want to see all the dimensions that she is. So
Yeah. She seems closer to the Carol Danvers that I know from the comics.
yeah.
who's all of that, right?
Yeah, I love that moment where she's in Miss Marvel's room, and she's
Yeah.
just like looking around, and she's like, "What the?" That was really good.
I think my favorite is Goose,
Yeah,
and
Goose. And she's like, "Oh my god!"
so I'm like, so I like it for one reason. Like I guess like it wasn't anything that I expected.
Yeah,
And I don't even know what I expected. For some reason, I thought it would be like an epic, like whatever,
right.
but maybe it's not. And a lot more light than I was expecting. I thought it'd be a little more heavier, but I'm glad
Yeah,
it's not.
I am
Um,
too. I mean, I didn't. I actually didn't think it was going to be too heavy because of Ms. Marvel in it,
right?
and I thought that she was going to definitely bring the light to it.
Yeah,
So, and she did, and she just she's like, is this my Avengers test?
like it feels almost like a continuation of that series,
Yeah, it does. It
right?
does. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's very good.
yeah.
All right. So, the final piece of news before we head into Lucasfilm. Rogers the Musical is going to be debuting at the Hyperion Theater at Disney California Adventure on June 30th. It's going to be one act and 30 minutes, which I think is just enough. Like, I
Yeah.
don't think you want it to be that much longer.
No.
And they did show some artwork, and it's of the scene in which my middle nephew Victor, when he was younger, described as, "Oh, that's the movie where the guy grows boobs," because they put him in
What
the
the?
machine, and after that he has the
Oh,
big pecs. So he
I'm like
thought that
what?
they were boobs.
Oh my god.
I
Oh, Victor.
thought that was so funny. So anyway, oh my god, I cannot wait for Rogers the Musical, and just to see what other songs that they're gonna write
Right?
for it.
Yeah.
I just am just super excited, and whatever merch they have, I'm gonna get it all, merch, food, whatever. Give it to me. Give it all to me. I will be happy to do that. And it's so funny that a lot of people were speculating that they put it in there. I actually had doubts,
Really?
but I'm so glad that they did it. You know, yeah, I didn't know. I didn't think that they were going to put Rogers musical uh,
I
in
figured
that
they
theater.
would.
Like I just thought it was like a dream, but the fact that they're doing it is just so awesome.
I just
And
hope it's not too limited where, you know, it's gone in a blink.
yeah, I know. I mean, uh, especially if they're going to put the time and money into it. I mean, why
Right.
make it like a month or whatever?
Yeah.
What and what else is in that theater? Nothing. Nothing's been going on in that theater,
Yeah.
and I
Nothing in
haven't
the
heard
theater.
of them developing anything
No.
else.
If anything, they
Um,
cut back on development of Avengers Campus with
yeah,
the ride has either changed drastically, the one that we've been working on, or whatever. The main ride, the supposed ride, has been diminished. So who knows?
yeah,
You know. But yeah, I'm hoping I get to see it because I just know like it's one of those things where everyone is gonna want to see it, uh,
hmm
and sometimes it's getting in is you know
yeah.
problematic.
Well, go with me because since I'm disabled, I get let in earlier.
Cool.
I know. It pays to be ill. Kidding. Just kidding, folks. You do not want to be this sick. All right. Well, I'm going to now hand over the reins to Cousin Rich because Cousin Rich has been awake since last Thursday, looking at all of the Star Wars news coming out of Star Wars Celebration in London, right? London?
Yeah, it was in London.
Yeah. All right.
Um,
Take
all
us
right,
away.
trying to think where to start. Let's start with some of the smaller stuff,
Okay.
ish. And more in line with what we're just talking about with Disney and stuff. So the Disney parks panel, which they've
Mhm.
had, for the last couple celebrations, usually, and I got burned by it again this year. Usually, they don't really talk about much that we don't
Yeah.
know. It's almost like a more of a commercial for anyone who's never been to the parks to go see it.
Yeah. That's
So they talked about,
surprise, surprise.
yeah. So they talked about, uh Galaxy's Edge and Batu and what you can do there, and the other stuff most of us know who've been
Mhm.
to it. They talked about Galactic Star Cruiser, same spiel, but they did emphasize, like, they get kind of annoyed, like they wanted to emphasize it's not a hotel. Like, it is not. It is a 2-day, 2-night Star Wars experience. You
Yeah.
just happen to sleep there. Um
Yeah.
the only things they really announced was that Gaia, who is the Twi'lek singer, like, her music will be available on May the 4th on streaming. So if you are a fan or have
That's
never heard of
cool.
it, I've never heard it, so I don't know
Yeah,
what she
I've never,
sounds
I've
like.
only like heard it video, what she sang on video, but I don't have a
Yeah,
connection to it. So
yeah,
it'll be nice to kind of plug into that.
yeah. At least that. And then, like, as almost like as weird, like, closing aside, they were like, um, so we have Mandalorian, and they have, Kylo Ren walk around, Chewie and Rey, but there'll be new characters coming to Galaxy's Edge. And then he's like, but I can't tell you who they are yet. So I'm like, oh, okay. I'm going to assume one of them is going to be Ahsoka when Ahsoka comes out.
I hope so.
Right. I hope it's Ahsoka, Hera, Sabine, Thrawn, like any of those, anyone else.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
obviously I want to see Ahsoka, but I would like to see more characters come out. So that's what I'm
If
going
I
to
could,
assume.
if I could get my picture with Ahsoka, Sabine, and Hera, then
Right.
my life will, I'll be happy. And
Yeah. Like we know they can pull off Twi'leks.
yeah,
So let's make it happen. Like, I'm still hoping they bring out, like, it doesn't have to be that the Rodian on the starship, but like they put technology into that costume, so it looks like an actual Rodian.
right.
Like, bring that out to the parks. That's the one thing I feel has always been missing from Galaxy's Edge. Is just like, it doesn't feel lived in
Yeah.
as much as Avengers. And weirdly enough, Avengers Campus, like I said, you can throw a stone, you're gonna hit a superhero.
Hmm.
They're out all the time.
All the time. Yeah.
So
And that's what makes that land so awesome, is the fact that they're just always out, and like it's just teeming with life. And
right,
that's what's missing from Galaxy's Edge.
yeah. Um, so at least we can expect some new characters. Like I said, I'm gonna put my bet on Ahsoka at least at some
Yeah,
point.
I think so.
Um, and then the other thing they kind of announced quietly was that they started talking about Star Tours as, the first Star Wars attraction, and
Hmm.
that they will be adding new destinations in the coming years. So I'm
Okay.
assuming also, again, it's going to be some locations we've seen in any of the Disney Plus uh, shows,
Probably
and that should be
Navarro.
coming probably. And then that should be coming in 2024.
Yeah.
So yeah, right now Navarro. I mean, I'll fly over Mandalore.
Yeah, Mandalore. That would be cool if we
Yeah,
we get to see the Mithril.
yeah.
Mithril, not
The
Mithril. Mythosaur.
Mythosaur. Yeah,
I always want to call it Mithril, but that's
that
that blue
that's
guy.
that's Horatio Sands.
Yeah, Horatio Sands.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So anyway,
Um, In non Star Wars news, they did play the new trailer for Indiana Jones,
Bum, ba-dum,
which
bum.
I was also pleasantly surprised that they had.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but there it is.
There it
Um,
is.
I like they gave a little bit more about this kind of the story, but I mean, not like I was never going to see this movie, but it still looks really good, and I'm really looking forward to what's going on in this
Yeah.
show.
Phoebe
Yeah,
Waller-Cates looks. At first I was like, is she gonna be too funny for this role? But she looks like she's about right in this kind of era, and adventure and things like that. I think,
yeah.
I mean, there must have been a reason why they saw her. Bye, Karen. Thanks for coming and
Uh,
joining us. So,
yeah.
um, yeah, but I think that this looks it feels like an Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. Like I haven't seen Kingdom of the Crystal Skull in a long time, but I just
Hmm.
remember it not feeling like an Indiana Jones movie for
Yeah,
whatever reason.
I really need to watch that film before this this movie.
Uh,
Just
yeah, maybe.
just to say I did it.
Right.
I'll probably watch like all of them, like
Yeah.
all four, and then this one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Um. But yeah, like, and then um, Harrison wasn't there, but he did do like a video thingy, like hello. But
hmm
Matt Mickelson was there, Phoebe Waller-Bridge was there, James Mangold was there, and they all seemed very excited. Like it's funny because Mads and Phoebe are both also Star Wars veterans because they were both in. Well, Mads Mikkelsen was in Rogue One, and then Phoebe Waller-Bridge was a droid in Solo. So,
yeah,
um, but yeah, like obviously they didn't give about too much away about it, but it does seem, it does seem, it does seem like a good Indiana Jones movie to probably end Harrison Ford's run
hmm
as Indiana Jones because he's getting old.
yeah.
Like,
I hope that it is a good movie. Like I hope that it does. It's like he's happy with it. Like
yeah,
that's the thing that I hope is that he is happy with the movie. This character that he's been for the last I don't even want to count because it makes me feel old.
old,
Yeah.
very long time.
Hashtag old.
Yeah. Um, let's go into the movies part of the celebration. So everything about the movies. Obviously, the
Good.
big announcement at at celebration was on during the first big presentation, which is the Lucasfilm Studios presentation, where and it's funny because they went through all the shows, all the other stuff, and they brought out Neil Scanlon and his like creatures. So
Hmm.
everyone in the audience was like, "Oh, I guess there's no movie news, right?" Because they ended this kind of weird to segue into just the creatures and the time that was allotted was coming because it was
Yeah.
supposed to be an hour and a half long presentation, and at an hour and 25, they start talking about like creatures. So everyone
Huh.
assumed that was it. And then
Yeah.
Kathleen Kennedy stayed on stage, and she's like, "Bet y'all are wondering what's going on with the movies." And that's when she
Yeah.
dropped the news that they are working on 3 movies. Um, so if we go in chronological order, so we're going to have a movie directed by James Mangold. So the guy who's directed Indiana Jones, Dial of Destiny, Logan,
Uh-huh.
Ford versus Ferrari, and the cinematic, awesome romantic comedy Kate and Leopold.
Yeah.
He's doing a movie that takes place 25,000 years before the Skywalker saga. And he describes it as like a biblical type movie where the origins of the Force and how people learn how to use it and all that kind of jazz.
Wow.
So this is what I've been kind of wanting. Like, let's take movies and bring it way in the past, right? This,
Uh-huh.
like, just explore the Force in ways we haven't seen, like the origins of it. So, and it also frees him up because there is really no shackles on him, right? No
Yeah.
characters, even Yoda won't be alive at that point, right? Yoda's
Yeah.
only 900 years old, so he won't be in it. Anyone we know right now will not be in it. So I'm looking forward to
It
that
would
stuff,
be funny if the aesthetic it made it look like it was the 1960s.
right? I think, like, aesthetically, I think they were talking about it. Like, it's still gonna feel Star Wars, so it's not gonna be like totally
Yeah,
foreign, right? But
right. I just think it would be funny.
right. I'm hoping for like more like Ralph McQuarrie um inspired looks
Yeah,
and
like
stuff,
very. I know exactly what you're talking about.
right?
Yeah,
Like the one famous picture of Darth Vader and what I think it was Luke Star Killer at that point,
yeah,
where like Luke has this like hose lightsaber thing and whatever. So like the
right.
early looks like an early kind of prototype of those weapons and looks and stuff. So I'm hoping that,
And he had like a mask on, didn't he?
yeah,
Or am I just
something like that.
imagining? Yeah.
Yeah. And then in the middle movie would be directed by Dave Filoni.
Mhm.
And this is what they're calling the New Republic era. So
Yeah.
after Return of the Jedi, and this is supposed to culminate all the storylines that are currently running in the Mandoverse. So Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, assuming Ahsoka, maybe Skeleton Crew, will
Hmm.
all kind of play into this movie. Um, yeah, directed and written by Dave Filoni. So that's
I'm
exciting
glad that
news.
they're finally giving him an actual movie to
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
But I mean, he's proven himself on
Oh yeah,
Mandalorian and Book of
definitely.
Book Boba Fett and
Yeah,
um, all
and
the others.
yeah, and the good thing, like I think this is going to be a good kind of barometer for the shows because, Disney Plus, they don't make money per show,
Hmm.
right? This is going to be like, let's see just how popular those shows are, because
Yeah,
this is you have to buy a ticket to go see. I'm assuming the budget's going to be way bigger, so probably won't be just limited to the volume at this point. They could probably actually build lots of sets. I'm hoping,
yeah.
stuff like that. Um, and what I yeah, I think I'm looking forward to that one, definitely.
Hmm.
Right. And then the third movie that they announced was going to be directed and written by, I'm not sure, Sharmeen Obaid Chinoy,
Hmm.
who worked on Ms. Marvel. And
Right.
takes place during the New Jedi Order, which is 15 years after the sequel trilogy. So 15 years after Rise of Skywalker.
Hmm.
Um, and in a maybe not so secret, she was talking about how it's going to be the formation of the new Jedi with a new Master Jedi, and then they brought out Daisy Ridley, who's going to reprise her role as Rey, to obviously applause and the roars of thunder there.
Hmm.
But yeah, because we knew, like, she posted that she went to Lucasfilm like months ago,
Yeah.
and she was all like, just visiting. Like, are you? You just
I know.
visiting?
I know. It's so funny. I mean, like, what else can they say though? I mean,
I know,
can't they can't
right?
really say what they're doing. So
Yeah. So
Yep.
my hope is that we'll learn soon that John Boyega's part of it, because like even him, like after Rise of Skywalker, like in the media, he was always he kind of was done with Star Wars. Like he wasn't very happy with how they treated him and the character.
Mm-hmm.
And then like maybe a year ago, he started being like, Star Wars is okay. Like
Yeah.
he started talking positive about Star Wars again. And that's when I'm in my head, I'm like, they're talking to him. They're talking to John Boyega
Right.
about something.
Right.
And here we go. So these are the three movies. Now
Mm-hmm.
a lot of chatter is like, oh, are these really going to be movies? Because we've heard so much about other movies.
Yeah.
And someone pointed out that they never really did it at Star Wars Celebration. All the movies and stuff we knew about were from investor calls. And so
Yeah.
it wasn't like a big announcement to the general public, even though everyone knew what's going on in the investor calls.
Right.
So they're like, I'm like, okay, this is what they are announcing. This is what they are bringing to the public for real.
Yeah.
And I think the lesson of what they've gone through in the past couple of years has pointed to like a more focused um, kind of plan, right?
Yeah.
So there's that. So we know, I'm pretty positive these three movies are going to happen. At least this is the direction they're going to go.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
I have faith that at least Filoni's will happen. Like it might happen
yeah,
sooner rather than later. That's my guess
yeah,
because he already has a whole infrastructure
yeah,
at Lucasfilm, that he can use, and he's no, like they've gotten things on time. They've produced, 3 seasons of The Mandalorian and so on and so forth, while also working on the Bad Batch, and um, so he's no schlump. I mean, neither Mangold or Obaid Shinoy, but
right. Um, but like in interviews that they had over the weekend, that wasn't necessarily in a panel. Like they did
mhm,
interview Kathleen Kennedy, and they did ask her about the other movies that have been mentioned, so long ago.
yeah,
And she pretty much said like they're not shelved.
uh huh,
They're just like things aren't ready.
right,
And for some of them, they're dealing with schedules. More obviously, Ryan Johnson, his schedule has become crazy because he's got a
mhm,
show he's doing, and the Knives Out movies are still I
yeah,
think he's doing another one, so his still more back burner than on the shelf. When asked about Rogue Squadron, she said it's still being talked about. It might come back as a series instead of a movie,
mm,
um, but they just want to do it right. And then she kind of debunked the Kevin Feige thing, where she like, we never really announced that was a thing. That was more of
yeah,
a press thing. And she said that they never actually had a discussion. But if Kevin Feige had an idea, sure, she'd totally be down for it. But
yeah.
like I remember when it was announced, I'm like, Kevin Feige is kind of a busy person. Like, how's he gonna balance
Yeah,
Marvel?
that's what I wondered as well. I said it's just such a he has such a big undertaking and so many like he's taken on. Not only is he the head of Marvel Studios, but he's the chief creative officer
Right?
of all of Marvel, which includes, you know, I mean, like every piece of it.
Yeah.
Did you know what we never talked about?
What?
Ike Ike Perlmutter fired.
Oh yeah. I think that was
Yeah,
during our hiatus kind of thing, because I knew you'd be happy.
yeah, he was. Just for those, sorry to hijack it for a second,
Yeah.
but Ike Perlmutter was the CEO of Marvel Entertainment and sold the company to Disney, with the understanding that he would still be CEO, or the president of Marvel Entertainment. So anyway, with the 7,000 people that they had let go, Ike Perlmutter was one of them because he was a big pain in the tush. And he was always making it difficult for, particularly Marvel Studios. And they had to, that's why Marvel Studios was no longer part of Marvel. It was reporting to the head of Walt Disney Studios,
Hmm.
because the contention was so bad. And in fact, Ike Perlmutter, wanted to fire Kevin Feige, which was nuts. So anyway, I don't exactly know why they let him go, or if it's just he just seemed like a fluff in the whole system, which I would imagine, since Kevin Feige is the chief creative officer. I mean, like, I can't imagine what else they would need him for.
Right.
And so all the rest of Marvel, I guess, um, is being what do you call that? Absorbed into other departments at Disney. So I think that Marvel Entertainment as a company,
Yeah.
I think, no longer exists.
Interesting. I didn't know that part.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't take my what I'm saying for you know gospel truth. I'm just extrapolating on the fact that he's left. They've absorbed everything else into other parts. So what is the point of having a Marvel Entertainment? You know
True.
what I mean?
Right.
But it's sad though. It's sad because the company was had been around for a long time, and I'm
True.
sure that there's still the spirit, like on the 100th anniversary of Marvel, which, my God, it's coming up not too long from now.
Hmm.
Um, you know that they'll do a whole celebration and stuff like that.
Right. Like it's still a brand,
Yeah, it's still a brand.
a strong brand. So
Exactly.
yeah.
So, anyway,
Um.
sorry about that.
Uh. No, just kidding. And then the last bit of movie news is Taika's movie. It's still
Right.
in development. It's taking a while because Taika obviously is busy doing
Hmm.
what he does, but he's the only writer on that project, and he doesn't want any help with it,
Yeah.
which makes sense for a Taika movie because Taika has a very unique kind of
Specific
style,
style. Yeah.
right? So no dates were given about any of this stuff.
Uh huh.
Again, with all the stuff they've announced in the past, who knows? But I do think I think there's a better possibility for these three movies coming out
Right.
than some of the stuff they kind of announced before.
Hmm.
So here's hoping that all works out.
Yeah.
Yay! Um,
Woo-hoo.
so let's get into like the part of Disney or Star Wars that has the biggest presence is that's Disney Plus shows.
Yes.
Andor season 2 we knew was coming. It was coming in summer of 2024 because they are in production now.
Hmm.
Some of the things that they talked about was um it's been no secret that the last episode will literally lead straight into Rogue One. So where we see Cassian in Rogue One at the end of Andor, he's getting on a ship to go to that location.
Hmm.
That's how the series ends, right? And then we have Rogue One.
Right.
Um, it's going to be 12 episodes, and
Uh
every
huh.
3 episodes spans a year. Um, and then some of the complaints about Andor was there were like no aliens in it. Not really.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's so funny. I didn't think about it until I saw your note here, and I was like,
uh,
"Oh, yeah, there weren't really any aliens." But I was so engrossed in the
right,
political drama of it all.
right. And like I like Andor, but it's the less like everyone's like this is the best Star Wars ever. I'm like, yeah, but it's also the least Star Wars thing out
Hmm.
there. Um, and yeah, I did notice that there was no aliens or anything because it's such part of the universe.
Yeah,
And see, also my one of my biggest gripes with the sequel trilogy is that it wasn't enough of the aliens that are supposed to be around.
right, exactly. The Rhodians and Twi'leks and
Yeah, like yeah, I appreciate introducing new ones, but like the universe at large throughout the 6 movies before had Rhodians and Twi'leks,
mhm,
um, you know, uh,
Thorians and
yeah, Duros, those kind of like the ones you always
yeah,
see.
Duros and
So I'm hoping that means we'll see some familiar aliens in Andor.
mhm,
Um, Skeleton Crew, they had a panel there. Takes place in the New Republic era, so it does take place around the same time as Mando, Ahsoka, and Book of Boba
mhm.
Fett. Um, it's been touted as a but not a kids movie. What they meant by that is pretty much an Amblin film movie, so like E.T., Goonies, those kind of things.
Is it going to be a movie or a series?
Series, sorry.
Okay. No, no,
But
no.
a
Because I mean,
very
Disney Plus does do movies, but
right.
so I didn't know if maybe it was a movie for Disney Plus or whatever.
Yeah. The premise is a bunch of kids find themselves stowaways on a ship, and hijinks ensue. The big name is Jude Law. Not much has been revealed about his character.
Mm,
It's been kind of hinted that he's a force user, and that they will run into pirates, or pirates will be a big part of it. And one of the pirates in it is Vane from the Mandalorian. So if you watch the Mandalorian, the latest season, the pirate episode, the one that gets away,
gets away. Yeah,
that's Vane. So he will
yeah.
be part of this show.
That's cool.
And the cool thing that I like is that one of the kids is like a alien, and not only just an alien, but like a Max Rebo type alien. He's like a
That is
blue elephant.
awesome.
So
I'm all for that.
yeah, and of course they didn't show. I mean, they showed like I think like a teaser there, but not available to the public. So we have to wait on that. That's I believe 2024.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um, the Acolytes had a big panel, and between Acolyte and Ahsoka, there's a split. I think there's a lot of people who are like the Acolyte trailer that they showed that we didn't get to see blows away anything we've seen
I
previously.
wonder why they didn't decide to show it to
Hmm,
the regular people.
I don't know. That's my gripe with Star Wars Celebration. The past two versions is that
Yeah,
when I went in Chicago in 2019, the big panels were streamed. Maybe not like
yeah,
the footage they showed and whatnot, but at least the panels themselves were streamed. And then they
yeah.
didn't do it last year, and they didn't do it this year. So I don't know what went behind that. I feel like the more you share, the more hype comes with it. You know.
Hmm.
So I don't know, but Acolyte, Leslie Headland, is the showrunner. Um, she described it as Frozen meets Kill Bill, which is very interesting duo there.
Yeah.
And she further kind of explained it. It's like the relationship between Anna and Elsa, as women, and with an included of kind of like the Kill Bill martial artsy feel
Yeah.
of it, right? Matrixy kind of things. I mean, Carrie Ann Moss is in that show. Um, like the main characters aren't all human; some of them are aliens. Very Kurosawa martial arts inspired. And actually, during the panel, Leslie Headland was brought out with a Wookiee in like
Mm-hmm.
a Jedi tunic, like a High Republic Jedi tunic. It turned out
Okay.
that was Eunice, who's been playing Chewbacca since the
What's
sequels.
his name? Sutom.
Su, Su, I can't remember.
Sutamano.
Sutomo,
Okay.
something like that. Yeah. But yeah, he is in that show as a Wookiee Jedi Master named
Nice.
Kel Naka. So that's gonna be awesome. He's always
Hmm.
fun. Like he's so a fan of being in Star Wars. So,
Yeah, that's cool. I always love that.
yeah. Um. Yeah, like they did show a trailer. They said a lot. Like if we have been missing Jedi since the sequels, we're getting like 100-fold more Jedi in this in
Hmm.
this in this show.
Wow.
um, excuse me. For anyone who reads the High Republic books, we also see the live action version of Vernestra Rowe, who in the books is a Mirialan Jedi, female Jedi. Mirialans are the green; they have green skin, like Luminestra, Bears Offie are Mirialans.
Hmm.
So that's cool for anyone who knows her from the High Republic book. She's a character. She's a Jedi, a young Jedi who became a Jedi Knight at a very very young age, which is unheard of at that time. So she's a little special. So
Nice.
that's cool.
Yeah. Awesome.
Um, yeah. There'll be Tales of the Jedi season 2. That was a no brainer.
Hmm.
Didn't really say which Jedi they'll be focusing on this season, but we're getting season
I,
2.
I I still want more Dooku. I was so enthralled by the Dooku episodes
Yeah,
of even more so than the Ahsoka ones. And you know me, I love Ahsoka. I will watch
right.
anything with Ahsoka in it. But
Yeah,
there was just those episodes really explained a lot about Dooku to me
yeah.
that I didn't know. And I thought if they can do that again, or like divided amongst some other people as well. But I would love to see more Dooku, and I never thought I would ever
Hmm.
say that.
Right. It probably won't be because I think that it's focused on 2 other Jedi that are still kind of entwined together.
Boo! Just kidding.
I mean,
I didn't think so either, but I'm
yeah.
just saying I would love to see more Dooku.
I mean, like it kind of told a story.
Yeah.
I think they were very specific stories. Um,
Hmm.
that even though because we've known more about Ahsoka than we knew about Dooku, but they're still very like the season was very tied together. The story of Ahsoka and the story of Dooku.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna find 2 other Jedi to tell that similar kind of story. I bet.
And then I want Plo Koon. I want Plo Koon and Kit Fisto. No, Shakti. There should always be a man and woman, or a Yala Sakura.
We'll see. I mean,
Look
who
at
knows?
me with my knowledge of Jedi names.
Impressive.
I know, right?
um, Bad Batch season 2 or season 3 will be its final season. They also did show a little bit of it. Again, there's a time jump,
Yeah,
and Omega is sporting a new older look, but she has a different also hairstyle now.
right.
Um, Lots of fighting stuff like that, but they never showed it to the public. So this is all descriptions I've heard from different people that have gone to it.
Hmm.
As for it being this final season, I think I think it makes sense. I think the first season was focusing on just who they were. Second season is kind of finding themselves, and now that they have kind of a purpose, the third season is the third act of their
Yeah.
story. Um,
Yeah.
my prediction is we will see live action Omega in Dave Filoni's movie.
I mean, I would love to see the live action. Oh, I just love those characters. I never thought, you know, even when I watched the Clone Wars, um, the clone centric ones, watching it again, I enjoyed them, but the clones haven't necessarily always been my favorite thing. But these episodes of the Bad Batch and just you just get so um, much information and I don't know. I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah. I'm opposite. I think the clones story was the bigger part of the Clone Wars for me. The clones
Yeah,
and the relationship also with Ahsoka.
yeah.
More
No, I
that
mean, don't
story.
get me wrong. I'm not saying that it wasn't. I'm just saying that when I initially watched the Clone Wars, all of the other things seemed to interest me more. But
Right.
now I get it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Okay.
Nope. Lauren hates the clones.
I hate the clones.
Um, there wasn't really too much about the Mandalorian that we didn't talk about. Um,
Yeah.
and the only thing, I mean, obviously, they showed off some of the stuff they've already shown. They didn't really show anything new. So we don't even know if there is a Mandalorian season 4. They didn't even say that. So,
Hmm.
um, the only thing that those kind of came out of Celebration about Mandalorian is that, and this is more a response to the last episode, is that Rick Famuyiwa is like, is the Mandalorian about Din Djarin, or is the Mandalorian title changed to mean something different? And
Yeah.
that's kind of where my head is at. Like, the Mandalorian is an all-encompassing term for the people of Mandalore,
Right.
just like the rebels is all the rebels. The Empire is
Yeah.
a whole empire. So,
I
um,
mean, I think it's good they're throwing that out there because I was getting irritated by the people who are saying the Mandalorian is now a Bo Katan show, and it's like, well, she is the Mandalorian.
yeah, like she's a Mandalorian and she has ties to, like, not only is she a Mandalorian, she's a
Yeah,
princess of
she's a
Mandalore.
princess. Yeah, exactly.
So, you know, I'll focus on like Queen Amidala and Princess Leia, but like we have another princess, and that
Mm-hmm.
is
Bo
Princess
Katan.
Bo-Katan, Kryze. So I am enjoying where this is going because I can see everything from what's happening from almost like a bird's eye view. Like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
this is playing into a larger story, and I see the bits and pieces that people keep going like, we need more explanation of this. This is, and like, this is why you read the whole book. You'll get the pieces you want. You just got to keep watching.
Yeah,
Right? We're not close to the end of the book. We still have a movie at some point. That's all going to tie all this in together. So that's like the last chapter is that movie. And until we get there, there's still a lot of like Ahsoka, a skeleton crew. Probably maybe another season of Mandalorian. So there's still a lot of chapters left. We're like in the middle of this whole thing. So all the things everyone's clamoring for, like now, like wait, it's gonna
mm-hmm.
be, it's everything's been seeded here and there across
Yeah.
all the shows. So like it's gonna keep happening. Just got to pay attention. Um, you know. Anyway,
I'm just
uh,
excited to have Starbuck back.
yeah, she's awesome. Katie Sackhoff is awesome. Like all of
Yeah,
her
she's really
interviews,
good.
and like she really loves Star Wars. She has a big connection to Star Wars, especially with her and her dad in Star
Mm-hmm.
Wars. So
That's nice.
she loves that character. You know.
Yeah.
So even like I think someone was saying like they were doing some filming, and Bo-Katan is there, but the helmet's on, so sometimes like Mandalorian, like Din Djarin. It's three people who play Din Djarin, right? It's the two people in the suit
Mm-hmm.
mostly, and then uh Pedro Pascal is the voice, definitely, but sometimes he's in the suit, but not all the time because the dude's crazy busy as well. But Bo-Katan, some people thought like in some scenes with them it wasn't her because big actress, and she's just standing there like she's not part of the scene really. She has no lines, but she's
Mm-hmm.
there for blocking all kind of things, and then she takes off her helmet and it's Katie Sackhoff.
Yeah.
Like that's how like committed she kind of is. Like even if she has nothing, it's not her. She's not in the spotlight. She's just standing there, and even
Right.
though anyone can put on the armor and play that, she's like, it has to be me because I studied the way she needs to look and present herself and all those kind of
Yeah.
things. So yeah. Anyway, Katie Sackhoff is awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. They did announce Visions Volume 2. Visions is the anthology series where they let a whole bunch of animators from around the world. The first season was mostly Japan. I think all Japan. So
Yeah, I
like
think it was Belgium. Yeah.
yeah, so they had a whole bunch of Japanese studios carte blanche. They can do whatever they want within the Star Wars universe. So none of it's canon. Nothing was sacred. They can do whatever story they want to tell. And if you haven't seen them, they are like beautiful. They're, if anything, they're all so different and represent
Mm-hmm.
so many different aspects of Japanese anime.
Yeah.
That even if you don't like the story, like I can appreciate just the care and the quality of the work, right? Um, but this year or this season, volume 2, the went global. So we
Mm-hmm.
have 9 studios from different parts of the world.
Nice.
Cartoon Saloon is from Ireland. Aardman, which is probably the most famous one of these studios, is the UK based. They're the ones who make Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah.
Uh, and that is amazing. I can't really pronounce what this is. It looks like Dart, but it's not. It's like Darge, something.
Dark. Dark. Dark.
Like this is not how to.
Dark.
Whenever they said it, it didn't sound anything like this. It was some
Okay.
weird sounding thing. So the only Japan. It's funny because it's a Japan-based studio. The writer, I think, is from Lucasfilm proper,
Hmm.
but I think it's like a Western studio that formed in Japan.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah. Punk Robots from Chile. Studio Mir is from South Korea. Triggerfish is South Africa. 88 Pictures is India. El Guri is Spain, and then Studio La Cachette is from France. There'll be 9 episodes that will premiere. All of them will come out on May 4th, so like less than a month from now, we'll see these. And some of the cast include Dennis Lawson, Daveed Diggs from Hamilton, Nikanani Rose, who was Tiana, and freaking Angelica Houston.
Angelica Houston.
Yeah,
Morticia Adams herself.
Trisha Adams. Yeah. Other small news is Lando. That series is still happening.
Nice.
I think they're just working with Donald Glover, and Kathleen Kennedy said he's excited about it. So that is
Cool.
still coming. And last but not least, the Ahsoka.
My favorite.
The Ahsoka. This is the big one that they actually showed and gave us the trailer for.
Which I watched a million
A million
times.
times.
I'm surprised I didn't do a reactive video to it, but I think I was in the hospital when it was
Okay.
released. So, or no, it wasn't. Had to go to dialysis. I hate dialysis. Just FYI, just FYI, people. I hate it.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, because I watched that trailer over and over again.
Yeah, I saw it so many times.
Mm-hmm.
Then I watched people's reactions to it. Then I watched people's breakdowns of it.
Yep.
I mean, there's whoever cut this trailer together, like, it's amazing. And it
Yeah, that's
gives
what it
you.
was. Oh no, I was just gonna say that it just feels like Disney in general has recently stepped up their game in terms of trailers. Like with Little Mermaid and Peter Pan and Wendy, I thought those were really good. The Marvels, now this one, masterpiece. I mean, this one just said, "Okay, you want this? You want this? Here we go. There
Yeah,
you have it
this.
on a silver platter just for you."
Yeah, I mean, you think about since Disney Plus started with Mando and Book of Boba Fett, there weren't really any Jedi except for Ahsoka, but
Mm-hmm.
now we're getting Ahsoka, we're getting two not quite Siths, not sure yet who they are, but a lot
Yeah.
of action, a lot of there's space battles in this. It's
Right.
stuff that we know as Star Wars, and I think that's what really sells it. But there's so much to unpack in this trailer, um, like really trying to find like Ray Stevenson in this trailer.
Yeah. Hold on. I just want to say hi to Danielle and Ben. No problem. No worries. You came at the right time if you like Star Wars things because we are talking about Ahsoka.
We are
Okay, go ahead. Ray Stevenson.
like, look at him, look at him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, the one thing I didn't notice in this trailer is that that's not quite a red lightsaber.
Yeah, that's what people were saying. It was like a
It's
blood
almost
orange
like,
or
yeah, it looks like it's
yeah.
blood, like orange. Like the rumor is that he is a Jedi master who survived Order 66, obviously, and the other
Mhm.
woman is his apprentice. His name
Wow.
is Balin Skull, and
Okay.
he describes his character as almost like an Arthurian knight who's on a quest.
Huh.
So that's kind of interesting. Um,
Wow.
and then the other character, I don't know if I can find her. Where was she?
Shin Hati. Shin Hati.
There.
She
Um,
looks really cool. Although she kind of looks, admittedly, like Halle Berry as Storm.
which is weird. But yeah,
You
her name
can't
is Shin
unsee it
Hati.
now.
I don't know. I saw her. I saw what she looks like, so I don't see it. Like I know what she looks like without that look.
Oh, without the look.
Her name is Ivana Sakno.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, in the interview, I'm looking at her, like she kind of looks like Elizabeth Olsen
Huh.
in the interview. Um, she is the apprentice of Skull, and she is incredibly skilled with a lightsaber. Is what they
So she's
described her
not a
as.
Sith, or she is a Sith.
No one knows yet, except for
Okay.
the people who made this movie. Um,
Ooh.
but what's funny in true Dave Filoni fashion, Skull and Hati or
Uh
Shin,
huh.
they're Norse wolves in Norse
Oh.
mythology. They're wolves, and Dave Filoni has a big thing about wolves.
Wow. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, um, Dana Lee Inosanto is back as Morgan Elsbeth. She was in the Jedi episode of The Mandalorian season 2. She was the magistrate where the first when we saw Ahsoka, she was like, "Where's Grand Admiral Thrawn?" If you don't know, interesting is that she is the goddaughter of Bruce Lee.
Wow.
Yeah, so martial arts is also in her background, as we saw in that episode. But she describes herself as a devout follower of
Bruce Lee.
of Thrawn.
Oh. Well, why not Bruce Lee since he's the god?
I mean, in real life, she probably is.
All right.
This droid is Huang. He was actually in an episode of Clone Wars, voiced by
Hmm.
David Tennant of Doctor
Okay.
Who fame. And
Yes.
he's the droid that helps younglings, Padawans, create their lightsabers.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is the first time I'm seeing him in live action, but also still played by David Tennant.
And he's Scrooge McDuck.
And he is Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah.
Then also we see Mon Mothma's returning. So this is after Return of the Jedi. So she's like Chancellor, or she should be Chancellor at this point of the New
She
Republic,
never ages.
right? And of course we see
Yeah.
Sabine,
Yes.
which I'm looking forward to her part in this whole
Me
thing.
too.
Yeah, I think she looks really good here. And of course, I gotta see. We get Hera Syndulla
I know. Oh
in
my
live
god. I was
action.
so because you know when they first showed Sabine, just right before that, I said, "Is that Sabine?" Um, you know, because it showed the wolf cat,
Yeah,
so it's like, okay, well, they're probably on wolf. But my mind wasn't. It was trying to figure it out, and then all of a sudden I saw Hera, and I was like, Hera. That one, I mean, she, I definitely knew, and then Chopper, of course, after that.
yeah. Hera is played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Why does that
Of
name sound familiar to me?
She's Ramona Flowers from
Oh, Ramona
Scott
Flowers.
Pilgrim,
Yeah.
and she's
Okay.
married to Ben Kenobi.
Oh my gosh.
Married or they're dating, one of the two. I think they're married now. But yeah,
Really? Wow.
she is married or dating Ewan McGregor.
Wow. Mhm.
Um,
Keeping Star Wars in the family.
yeah, right. But yeah, I was super excited. Like, I love Rebels. Like
Mhm.
that anime. If you have not seen Rebels, please watch it. It'll
And
make you laugh
Hera
and
is also
cry.
another favorite of mine. Like, I just love
Yeah,
her.
Hera. So Hera is like the motherly type on that show.
Yeah.
Her name was mentioned in Rogue One as General Hera Syndulla.
Yeah.
And we do see Chopper, and we do see her ship the Ghost in the Battle of Scarif, and
Right.
in the Battle of somehow Palpatine returned, whatever that
Hmm.
place was, I forget. But people pointed out like her insignia in this series looks like she's now an admiral.
Ah.
Yeah, because he was general in Rogue One times,
Yeah.
right? And this is after the Battle of Endor, which she was supposed
That would
to.
make
She was
sense.
at. So now she is now an admiral, which, yeah, it does make sense, right? But yeah, big other news, at least for me or any music files, is that Kevin Kiner, who has been the composer for all the animated shows, is the composer for this series, which
Wow.
I'm really happy about because he really embodies the classic Star Wars sound for music.
Yeah.
Right. And then the directors that they listed are Steph Green, Peter Ramsey, Jennifer Getzinger, Rina Patel, Rick Famuyiwa, and then Dave Filoni. Obviously, is going to direct a couple episodes. There'll be 8 episodes, and it premieres in August.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow. So much news.
I think that's all. That's all the major stuff that we probably care about. Oh, and then the next celebration is going to be in 2025 in Japan, which I am going to figure out how to make that. So I have 2 years to figure that out.
Oh man, if I could go to Japan, I would in a heartbeat. Like, I love Japan so much. And I think you would have quite an adventure there.
Yeah, hopefully. Like if I do, I definitely want to hit up at the very least, Tokyo Seas,
Yeah, Disney
Disney
Sea.
Seas. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
it'll blow your mind. It'll blow your mind.
yeah.
Just imagine Cars Land
Yeah.
times 11.
Nice.
Yeah,
But yeah, like there's other news from there, like video game news, book news, toy news, stuff like that. But I think this is mostly what people would care about here. So
yeah,
I'm excited about it all.
yeah.
So
Yay! Well, thank you for taking over the Star Wars part. I just knew that you would be better at talking about that since I know you had been analyzing it all weekend long, and um, I had all I did was watch the Ahsoka trailer over and over again.
right,
So a lot of this news was new to me, which is great. All
nice.
right. Well, do you have anything else you want to add about
Um,
anything?
just that like there's a lot of negative comments and stuff about Star Wars lately. I mean, like
Yeah.
almost
It
forever.
always happens. Yeah, I was gonna say.
But Star Wars Celebration is always the place where they push that out. Like that's the real majority of fans out there are actually positive. It's just the
Hmm.
vocal minority that like to be loud on the internet. So if you ever like look at comments and stuff and say like a lot of people just hate on Star Wars,
Yeah,
just know that that's not the majority of fans. That's really a small little section of
yeah.
so-called fandoms. But looking throughout all the pictures and costumes and stuff, like what's funny is like there's a new cause like Woodrow. Oh my god, what's his name?
Listen,
Woodrow, not Wilson.
G,
The
G.
character in Empire Strikes Back that's running around with an ice cream maker
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
has been a favorite thing at Star Wars Celebration where a whole bunch of people dress up like him with ice cream
Yeah,
makers and they run around together the floor,
yeah.
right? There's a new version of that, and that's what's his name, Kino from Andor, Andy
Uh,
Serkis's character. So they're dressed like Andy Serkis or those prisoners, and they're
that's
just
so
yelling.
funny.
They're just yelling "No way out" as they run around the floor. And one of these days, I totally want to
Me
do that.
Snoke.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like there's so much love. Like, this is why we had Ahmed Best as Colorin Beck. Like
Yeah,
his reception at Celebration, whenever that was so warm. Hayden
yeah.
Christensen's, reemergence in Star Wars because of fans. Now that the people who grew up with the prequels are a lot older.
Hmm.
Uh, so there's still a lot of love for Star Wars. It's just
Yeah,
we don't have to say it all the time like people who are just angry.
yeah. It's a unfortunately a vocal minority
Yeah.
that is always getting in people's thing, and then the news always wants to report something negative. You know what I mean? Like, so they see it and they run with it and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Or they want an opposing view, I should say, not something negative. So anyway,
Yeah. So it's gonna be a long couple months till Ahsoka, but at least we have Guardians 3, Secret Invasion to hold us up,
yeah,
and then boom, Ahsoka.
yep.
And then the Marvels in
And the
November.
Marvels. Oh my god, I can't believe that they pushed it back. So I'm just so excited about that movie. I really am
Is
because
there
it just looks so fun. It looks
yeah.
fun.
Is there anything else between those? Between that? Between Secret
Yeah,
Invasion
Guardians of the
and
Galaxy.
yeah, I said that.
Oh, which
But
was
Guardians comes out in like May, right?
yeah,
So
something
in the
like that.
summer, is there another summer movie at all,
That's what I don't think so. I think that
or something?
I think that they moved something else into their summer slot that wasn't a Marvel movie.
No,
Um, yeah, because I can't think of anything.
Little
It
Mermaid.
seemed, yeah, I think it might have been the Little Mermaid. Actually, I think the Little Mermaid they were going to have it come out in November, so I think they switched the dates.
Mm.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
but yeah, that's Star Wars Celebration 2023.
All right. Excelente, my friend. All right. Well, again, if you are not subscribed to our channel, we'd love it if you would take a moment to subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications so you can find out when we're doing our lives or posting any of our other videos. And do like this post before you leave. We would love that. And um, with that, we will see you later. Bye.
Yep. Catch y'all on the flip side. What the